Stewie coming down with the rebound. Puts one to Bird. Bird bounce pass to Taurasi. You cannot do it any better than that. My goodness. Two brilliant passes. One from Stewart, one from Bird. The layup and one.
Despite the contact.
That's WNBA stars and four-time Olympic gold medalist. Did you hear? 4 times Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi scoring against China. The U.S. women's basketball team will compete this summer in Tokyo and could make history by becoming the first women's team in any Olympic team sport to win 7 straight gold medals. Like the sound of that. This comes after players, including Bird and Taurasi, negotiated a new WNBA contract this month that could enable some top players to more than triple their salaries. Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi will have joined us now to talk about that. It all started with a crayon. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, let's talk about Kobe for a second, because I know you all have been rocked, as we all have, and you both knew him very well. He called you, Diana, the White Mamba. What does that mean for you?
I mean, you know, it's just been such a difficult time for a lot of people.
Of course.
That knew Kobe, I think we talked about it earlier, didn't know Kobe. There was a connection with his work ethic and how serious he took his craft. And
the Mamba mentality means what?
I
There's
mean,
a black one and a white one. You're the white one.
At all costs.
At all costs.
Yeah.
And I think he said it one time, it's to overwork your potential. And I think that's what he did more than anything. Is he obviously had God-given skills, but he was going to work past them and over that.
Overwork your potential.
You know, when I heard that and when I saw him play, I was a freshman in high school when he was a rookie with the Lakers, being from Los Angeles. So, you know,
Oh, wow.
just growing up with him in your life every single day.
He was there.
There was a connection that goes beyond basketball.
So you knew him too.
Yeah, so I knew him. We met him, multiple times. Got to spend time with him at the Olympics. But I actually I'm from New York, so I was more a Knick fan.
Yes.
But Dee and I go way back, and I actually got to experience Kobe through Diana's eyes, which was really interesting. We played overseas together. Remember, every Laker game she'd come in. You see what Kobe did?
Yeah.
Box score. She was a big fan. So even though I wasn't a fan of him growing up per se, he wasn't my favorite player. I got to see the impact directly.
How did he support the women's game?
I mean, you see it. He was at the games. He was present. He spoke about it. Obviously, his relationship with his daughter, who was an aspiring WNBA player, UConn player, actually.
Right. Well, you're both UConn. You both have
exactly.
UConn.
Right.
I mean, that was a wonderful tribute they gave to her, putting her name on
as hard as as hard of a time as it's been, it was really nice to be with each other, with USA Basketball, to be on that UConn court, a place, like you said, Gigi wanted to play, and be able to honor him in that way and honor her as well.
So let's talk about the Olympics. You mentioned playing overseas together. I mean, many in the women's game go overseas to supplement their income, but now as you train for the Olympics, there's a plan to pay each player $100,000 to train right here in the U.S. Why does that matter?
I mean, we spent most of our careers in Russia. We spent 10 years there playing, and I think we talked about it earlier with the new CBA, what we're doing with the national team. We want to keep people here. That's the plan.
How did you come up with $100,000 and not 50 or not 250? And how did it start
I mean,
with
we
a
would have taken.
It was written out a candy bar.
And how did it start with a crayon? Are you all just sitting in a restaurant and you start spitting out ideas? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you play overseas, there's a lot of downtime.
Yes.
You're bored. Not a lot of people are awake that you're used to talking to.
You pull out your box of crayons.
You literally just chat. And we were actually in America on a USA Basketball trip.
This is it right here.
That's the one little part we're showing you. So yeah, we were just like, we were talking, we were spitting ideas, doing this, and we're like, who has a pen? Who has a pen? We need to write this down. And we were with our agent, who has a 2-year-old son at the time.
There you
and she was like, all I have is this purple crayon. We were like, perfect.
Works.
But how did you come up with $100,000, guys, as opposed to any figure?
I think that figure, you know, whenever you talk about amount of money, you have to go through different resources and different avenues. And I think working with USA Basketball, working with other players, that was the number that we felt really comfortable with, that people would want to stay and actually do it. So that's how that came.
How was it received when you put it out there?
Really well. I mean, this is 2 years in the making, right? Like any great thing, it's going to take some time to build. We had a group chat, which was like pretty much all the Olympians from 2016, and we were like, what do you think of this? And just kind of laid it out, and everyone was like, oh, I'd be in. Now, times change, injuries happen.
At the same time, the WNBA's rolled out a new contract, significant increase. How does that change things?
Oh, I mean, it puts us in a different category. I think the tone of what the WNBA was for the last 10 years, I think just took this negative connotation of why would I want to play there? Where I think with the CBA and the things that we've fought for, now it's something that you can strive And as a little kid, you want to play in the WNBA now for different reasons.
But was it just last year or the year before the league MVP had hurt herself playing overseas in the offseason again because it was a financial thing? She's making more money. Will this new contract mean that you don't have to travel in the offseason? You can be with your families, you can be at home?
Yeah, that's the hope. The hope is to, listen, we're starting in a way from scratch, right? We've lived this WNBA life for 20 plus years, but now this is like a whole new life, and we're figuring it out. But the idea is, like Dee said, like you're saying, so people don't have to go overseas. There's opportunity here, and hopefully it just continues to grow.
And let's talk about Sue for a second, your other half. Notice I didn't say better half, Megan Rapinoe, who's also involved in an equal pay dispute with the soccer league. How is her fight different from yours? And how frustrating is it in 2020 women are having this conversation about equal pay? So how different is her fight for your?
Yeah, it actually is different. You know, Megan's fight and her teammates, that's with U.S. Soccer, which is a federation. It's a nonprofit. So there's some different, situation with us, WNBA.
Yeah.
And we understand that. We're a business. And a lot of people think we're sitting here saying, oh, you should pay us the same as the NBA. No, we understand that's not what we're talking about. But where they're similar is, equity and being marketed the same and being treated the same and those types of things. So it's great to have somebody, obviously, that I can talk to, bounce ideas off. I've learned so much. I've learned so much.
Yeah.
I think it's a two-way street. As Dee and I were saying, she's the lucky one. She's the lucky one.
See that, Megan? Watching.
She's the lucky one.
Right.
No better half, only equal half.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
Sue, Diana, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.